we got this wrong. As a school superintendent, let me be the first to admit that I was probably wrong about screen time and technology. What we're seeing in kids should concern all of us. Now, don't click away, but let me be clear. I'm not going to talk all this educational nonsense and academic jargon. And if you want to dig into the research, I'll put some links and articles in the description and you can do that for yourself. I just want to have a real conversation about what we're seeing with kids. And I want to be honest with you. I want to say this as somebody who absolutely embraced technology. I pushed it. I went one-to-one. I believed in it. I thought it would accelerate learning. I thought it would solve our problems. I thought it would bridge the gaps. But over time, from what I'm watching with students and just kids in the real world and listening to others talk, like teachers, we're seeing patterns that we can't ignore. And what we thought would help learning, in many cases, is actually interfering with learning development. Now, not in every case, not every tool, but enough that we need to stop and take a serious look at what we're seeing. Now, I can tell you there are a few key areas that I'm concerned about. Attention and focus. Fast-paced, highly stimulating content changes what kids' brains expect out of learning. And we're seeing it every day. Teachers are telling us kids struggle to sit with a book, stay with a problem, or listen to a lesson without needing something super stimulating. The real work of learning starts really to feel hard, and probably harder than it should. And that is also in the learning. Second, language development, especially in our youngest students. Language grows through conversation, back and forth, listening, speaking, thinking out loud. Screens don't replace that. They can't replicate that kind of learning. And third, behavior and frustration. Real learning involves struggle and working through it. It means not getting it right the first time and trying again, but when everything is just instant. The feedback, the prompts, the answers, the content, the next click, the next swipe, the ability to push through something hard starts to break down. And we're seeing more frustrated students and kids, more quitting, more sometimes behavioral challenges, because when things don't come easy to you, we act out. That's human nature. And I'll be honest, this isn't just something we're seeing in schools. I see it everywhere. Department stores, restaurants, airports, even at Disney. Kids are constantly on a phone, a tablet, some kind of screen. And I'm not saying that with judgment. I was a parent. I handed that stuff out. Life's busy. Parenting is hard. But when you step back and look at it, when you step back and look at how much time our kids are looking at a device, you start to realize that it's a lot. And it's not just a school issue. This might be a broader conversation with what's happening in our generation across the country, what's happening with educators, parents, leaders. And you know what? They're all starting to ask the same question I am. I'm not unique. I'm not special, but I'm definitely realizing that I may have gone too far with screen time and technology. I always feel that hands and brains are connected. And together, they are what builds learning. And that has to build learning far better than any device or software or program ever could. And that's where a teacher has such great value. And as for me, I'm taking this really seriously. And moving forward, I'm going to be much more intentional about how we use technology, especially with our youngest learners. I'm not talking about eliminating it. Teachers need it. I'm not talking about ignoring it and throwing away, because there is value at times for it. But I want to really think about when it helps and when it doesn't, and when it might actually be getting in the way of learning. That means I'd love to see more hands-on learning, more conversations between the teachers and other students, more reading, more writing, more just thinking. Because without a screen in front of you, that's where you can really start to do that. I can't control what happens outside of the classrooms and outside of schools, but I can take the responsibility for the decisions we make inside of it. This isn't about blame. This isn't about having the courage to do something different. It's just about understanding that maybe we made a mistake and we need to fix it. And I'm definitely going to be the person that does something about that. Because our kids only get one shot at learning. So this is a conversation a lot of schools are having, more schools need to have. Let me ask you, what are you seeing with screen time and your kids right now? I'm really interested in hearing the different perspectives. And well, anyway, thanks for taking a few minutes to think about this with me, and maybe we'll chat.